What's up, guys? Welcome back to Winter Talk episode number 17. India's military and economic expansion. This is a good one right here. So I've been holding on to this India video for like months. Not holding on to the video, but the concept, the idea of making this, because things are going on with geopolitics. So I got a lot of good stuff to say about India. First, we got a few articles. The first one is going to come from AP News. India begins to flex its naval power. We got number 2, U.S. Department of Defense. U.S. India rapidly expand their military cooperation. And number 3, we have WEF, World Economic Forum. India could become the world's third largest economy in the next 5 years, and here's why. You see what I'm saying? You know. Now let's just get through these rapid fire. The AP News is from the AP. India begins to flex its naval power as competition with China grows. Singapore, India. For decades, India has focused its defense policy on its land borders with rivals like Pakistan and China. Now, as its global ambitions expand, it is beginning to flex its naval power in international waters, including anti-piracy patrols and widely publicized deployment close to the Red Sea to help protect ships from attacks during the Israel war and Hamas. So like they're talking about the Houthis in Yemen, and you know how they're launching missiles and strikes and rockets and drones and all types of stuff at the ships they're passing by. And to them it matters, but they also, like, the Houthis have been hitting the wrong ships. Like they're trying to intentionally hit only like the West-led ships, but they have been hitting people on their own team, on their own side. But so that's that whole thing and why they're helping India. And also they get paid to protect, the anti-piracy. So, it's more economy for India. India is widely publicizing the deployments, signaling its desire to assume a wider responsibility in maritime security to the world and its growing maritime ambitions to a regional rival like China. And it's their quote: "It is a message to China that, look, we can deploy such a large force here. This is our backyard. Though we don't own it, but we are probably the most capable and responsible resident naval power," Chawla said. The Indian Navy has helped at least 4 ships, 3 of which were attacked by Houthi rebels, and another that Washington blamed on Iran, a charge denied by Tehran. It has also conducted several anti-piracy missions. Beijing has deepened its engagement in the Indian Ocean, mainly through infrastructure deals and India's neighbors, including Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and most recently the Maldives. We talked about the Maldives and Sri Lanka. And did we talk about Bangladesh? But we talked about those 2 countries in the last video. We didn't talking about the loans and stuff, that China has been doing. The Chinese are looking for more and more naval bases in the extended Indian Ocean, said Lieutenant General D.S. Huda, a former Indian military officer and now a strategic expert, seeing that India doesn't have any other option but to keep building up its own. There's a lot of reasons why. I don't have to go through all that right now. The Taiwan issue is what I'm trying to say. The Maldives government last week gave clearance to Chinese research ship to dock in its port. Similar Chinese ships have made port calls in Sri Lanka in 2022 and 2023 amid fears in India that they could be used to surveil the region. India's concerns led Sri Lanka earlier this year to declare a 1-year moratorium on foreign research ships entering its waters. Experts say the growing competition with China is energizing India to acquire more advanced ships, submarines, and aircraft, and invest more in technology and infrastructure. There's a lot of ands in that in that sentence. Looks like I wrote it. No, word to my producer. The Navy share of India's burgeoning, I don't know how to pronounce that word, sorry, defense budget, which reached $72.6 billion last year, has increased of 19%, and from about 14%, the Indian Army has traditionally received the lion's share of military budget. India, the US, Australia, and Japan are members of the Indo-Pacific Strategic Alliance known as the Quad, which has reportedly accused China of flexing its military muscles in the South China Sea and aggressively pushing its maritime territory claims. The navies of the 4 countries regularly hold drills seen as part of the initiative to counter China's growing assertiveness in the Pacific. Yeah, so done with the AP. I had to read all this and have all this information for you because it hit so much good points and so much reasoning that it's not a conspiracy theory to be afraid of China, because the way their economy is going, the way that their public image is looking right now, the way they're treating um, just trading ships in the Black Sea, the way they're treating the Coast Guard of Philippines, like they're shooting them with water cannons. There's so much video evidence right now. Like if this was if they would take them to international court, they would. I would say in my eyes, if they had like a good jury, that they would lose, because man, they got caught red-handed doing some illegal stuff constantly. Even when they threatened to shoot down um I was our third most important person was, what's her damn name that flew to Taiwan and almost caused World War III. Man, I can't think of her name. Well, that lady, um, a couple years back. So now, there's our second article. Defense.gov, U.S. Department of Defense. U.S. India rapidly expand their military cooperation. This was on June 20th. So this is almost exactly a year ago as of recording this. This is a transformational moment in the U.S.-India defense partnership, a senior Defense Department official said at the Pentagon today. To have the world's largest democracies with some of the most innovative workers and companies working more closely together on strategic technologies and how we can leverage them for security is a natural next step in this relationship, the official said during a briefing. The United States of India are increasingly doing things in their defense partnership that people wouldn't have said was possible 20 years ago. For instance, 20 years ago, there were no U.S. defense sales to India at all, the official said. Now we are talking about co-producing and co-developing major systems together. Now that is one of the most important things I read in this entire website. That 20 years ago, India was like not best friends, but they're close friends with Russia, which is our rival, for the longest time, for almost a century now. Not say, okay, I'm exaggerating, but like about 60, 70 years we've been rivals. And now that they've fallen off, India's best interest is to now team up with the winner of that rivalry, because Russia is no longer a valid rival of the United States. Now it's looking like China is. And since China is also a rival of Pakistan, they want us to help them out. So especially with our military, and both of us combined, obviously they had the manpower, we have the technology, but combined, we become an unstoppable force. That's exactly what I'm saying about why they should be a good ally. That they would make a great ally. Also because they don't start any wars, like some of our other allies have been doing. Also, India is joining the U.S. in annual air and maritime exercises in the region, officials said. The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, commonly called the Quad, is a strategic security dialogue among Australia, India, Japan, and the United States. Tomorrow, the new Indus X initiative takes place, bringing together the U.S. and Indian stakeholders, research and academic institutions, industry, small startups, and investors. According to the U.S. Chambers of Commerce, which is hosting the event, Indus X will be held in Washington just prior to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's White House visit. Indus X has the potential to be the catalyst for India to achieve its target of $5 billion in defense exports by 2025. And for India to diversify its defense supply chain, the conference will feature a defense exhibition where firms will showcase technologies and platforms that can benefit both countries: border security, maritime domain awareness, space situational awareness, and more, contributing to a more stable and secure Indo-Pacific region. Wow, that's a lot of big words in that sentence. With my education of just a high school diploma in a not so good high school, man, if my teachers could see me today, they'd be like, no way he knows what any of those words mean. But I do know what most of those is. It's insane. It's insane. What do people call them, the YouTube PhDs. if you watch enough professionals on YouTube, and that's what mainly what I watch. Like I like watching scientists on podcasts. I love watching neurologists. I love watching engineers and stuff like that on podcasts and shows, and all kinds of stuff like that. You slowly start not educate. Yeah, I guess educating yourself in some way, but sometimes a lot of things always stick to you, and like a lot of the stuff like geopolitics has stuck to me, and why I was fascinated about this stuff so much, because to me it's like the most important thing. But yeah, another rant. So that Index X is gonna be crazy. I didn't see when exactly the Index X is gonna be. Does it say? It doesn't say. Okay, well, if it happened, I want to know what kind of stuff you know uh, came out of that. So our third article is from weforum.org, which is WEF, World Economic Forum. India could become the world's third largest economy in the next 5 years, and here's how. On the economic front, India has been a key growth engine for the world, contributing 16% of the global growth in 2023. The country's growth rate of 7.2% in fiscal 2022 and 2023 was the second highest among the G20 countries and almost twice the average of emerging economies that year. Bro, it's crazy. That whole article, not gonna lie, it was kind of whack. This is all I can pull through from it that was like important. If you guys want to go read it, obviously I have all the links to everything I read on here in the description, so you guys can go look at those. But this is like the most important thing I found out in there. I wish they had more information about the economy of India, but a lot of it is kept secret, and it's a lot of digging. I checked maybe 7 websites to find more like economy based information of India, but it's very private, it's very secretive, so it's hard to narrow down. But I did see some crazy good numbers. But this 7.2% in fiscal year 2020 and the second largest of the G20, that's pretty crazy. The 20 biggest countries, it has 7% increase, because it's hard for a big country to have growth. For example, China only grew like 1 or 2% their GDP. I think it was like 1% last year, and it was really bad. So for them to grow 7% is crazy. It's 7 times the amount. Obviously, their economies are different, but 7% is still a lot. There's no laughing matter. Just like how Poland's, for now, the small percentages like 5 to 4% every year doesn't seem like a lot, but in a span of like 20, 30 years, which they have been doing, that starts to add up quick. And I don't know, another 20 years, Poland can be one of the big economies in all of Europe. Like it's growing that at that pace. It's pretty crazy. After reading all this, I do know that Chinese citizens or people who are for China, they watch my videos, they watch my channel, and they say like I'm just slandering, or I'm just constantly saying that China is doing negative stuff, which they kind of are. And that's just not my perception. It's just that's the public's perception. That is the world's perception of them. Like it's really crazy. I just saw this video today. I don't know if this is a conspiracy or opinion based. But there's this what's it called, the China Observer or something like that. Or, no, it wasn't the IOI. I don't remember. Or Lao Y, the YouTuber. He talked about this, that China is now banning and making illegal for you to post videos of you either posting you in a luxury light, like buying jewelry, buying a car, by having a nice home, or showing luxuries on screen and posting about it. They're making that illegal. And they also made showing poor things is illegal as well, showing your poor status. And that's pretty crazy to think about. Like they're making so many things illegal. Like TikTok is illegal in China, and it's from China. It's crazy, and the profits go to China. It's ridiculous. It's Chinese. Like I mean, like a Chinese government. Because in China, they have this thing where if you're a company based in China, a certain amount of your seats or power in your board has to be from the Chinese government. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. If TikTok gets banned, obviously I'm gonna do a video about TikTok. But at the moment, it's still surviving, and it's still gonna survive like another year or two, in my opinion. And these are my closing remarks of this whole video. This video was fire. I hope you guys like it. Now let's get to it. India is on pace to be fourth if not third strongest country in the world, if their diplomacy with Quad and other neighboring countries continue to help protect global trade in its region, which in turn opens many doors and markets to India to help expand their country. This is similar to what Japan and South Korea did to pay attention to their economic success. Peace and prosperity go hand in hand when you're able to protect it with your military. Without a big stick, your livelihood could change overnight due to an over rambunctious leader like Putin did with Ukraine. And that's exactly how I see what's going on with China. I think was it damn it. I think it was India was trying to build this thing called the necklace of diamonds, or yeah, I think it's called the necklace of diamonds or something like that, where they were trying to position themselves in a way where they will protect and secure the entire Indian Ocean, not of its trade or anything like that, but to dominate the ocean so no piracy or other countries can start going through without them knowing, and to protect their whole coastline, because India has a giant coastline, and to protect their livelihoods just like America does with their coastlines. And China with the Belt and Road Initiative, they quite literally they literally are like what the world is doing to China with the Black Sea thing, what's it called, the first island chain. They're doing the same thing to India with the Belt and Road Initiative. They're securing all types of alliances and loans that are with all these countries to choke out India's power to extend from their coastline. So yes, this Quad thing, other alliances out there are very much needed. And if they start, I'll make a video about it. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. If you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up and comment your thoughts down below. Please share this channel with your friends and family, and also subscribe to help us grow and have a bigger impact. This is your host, Jose, hitting escape. Peace.